So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today with me I have this performance video of this 1990s Khaitan magnet ceiling fan over here. So there are some changes with which I made with this fan. So let me show you the capacitor of this fan. So I am not sure that the capacitor is original or unoriginal. You can see it here. So this is a 2 MFD which was in this fan, so that's why the speed was slow somewhat. So now I have put a 2.5 in this, so it, as it's a 16 pole, it won't make much of a difference anyways. The fan can handle this much as it's a 48-inch anyways, so that's the thing. So as I told you, this is a bush fan and not a double ball bearing fan. The upper cover is bearing and the lower cover has a bush. The upper cover is made of cast iron and the lower cover is made of aluminium, which adds on to the weight of the fan because the covers are top heavy. And this fan, I know the rotor of this fan is removable, but it's okay, better than HS or hybrids or whatever, in which if the rotor is spoiled then you cannot replace the rotor anyways. So rather than that, these are better. So now let me start the fan. This is on speed 1. So as you can notice, the on speed 1 won't make it won't catch much of a speed, and as this is a 16 pole, then the speed will be much lower. And yes, there was the Astra here before, but I have installed this to show the performance. Speed 2, speed 3. As you know, 2 and 3 don't make a difference. The fan will behave miserably as the this regulator is not proper. Now speed 4 may make somewhat a difference, but on 4 also this won't make much of a difference because this is a 16 pole motor. Speed will be low compared to the Usha Astra which I had here, but whatever, it's considerably okay. Now it's like it's running on speed 2 or 3, something like that. So now let us go to the speed 5, the ultimate. So you have seen the speed 5 of the old capacitor. Now let me show you the new one. So you can see it took full speed. Oh my god, what an airflow. So this is the airflow. Airflow is considerably good. This is a windy kind of airflow, and this airflow is a bit thicker compared to the 2000s or the later versions of this fan, like the 2000 to 2005 with the thinner blades. This blade is more broader, the 90s, and the shank has a better angle, so these ones give better airflow, the older ones. So whatever, the other older ones like the 1991 to 1996 which were having the plain blades, those ones will give more better because those have only shank angle, and nothing else. These ones have the grooves anyways. So whatever, this is how the quality kept diminishing, and one day Magnate was out of production anyways. So that's the thing over here. So that is anyways not the criteria here. The criteria is about the fan and its performance over here. So let me show you the new capacitor. So anyways, the new capacitor is a Tibcon 2.5. As I mentioned, it's a PVC capacitor, but it's okay because oil capacitor was not available here, so I have used a Tibcon. So now let me just show it to you. So here's the Tibcon. 2.5 microfarad, and it's the same color coding as of the 2000s. The winding hasn't changed. The only thing which is different in the 90s and the 2000s is the shaft. As you can see, shaft is having no slit, and the other 2000s or the later ones had slits in the shaft, so that you can take, if the shaft is to be replaced, then you can easily do it without much difficulty. So that's the thing over here. So whatever, those days they did not emphasize much on that. So whatever, this has a slight shaft sound in the starting, but that's not an issue, and I don't even think that it's much of a concern over here. So now I have to close this here. So wait until I close it. I don't know if I get demonetized for this. I think I will not. So maintain the 2 mm gap here, so that this doesn't touch the upper cover, otherwise this will create a bad noise. So can see here, this much is enough. So for that, the canopy also should be broad enough, otherwise the canopy may tilt like this, which is also not good. You can see here, and if the canopy and if the ceiling, this thing is bigger than the diameter of this canopy, then use this kind of a plastic plate here, or you may also use a junction cover. That would be much better. So otherwise you can use this also, not an issue. So that's the thing here. And yes, the blade got a bit of tampering because it was pretty hard to actually balance this fan. So but however, this is balanced, so be careful, don't actually rip it off like this. You just have to be patient, and whenever you are balancing such a fan, then be aware that the aluminium is old, so little bit of pressure also can actually disbalance this, but it's okay, your blade won't break, don't worry about breaking. This is not even such a bad quality that it will break, so it's okay. So this is a typical 90s, so everybody knows about that, these blades are a bit easier to bend, so whatever. But overall the quality of this fan is really good. This fan, if you are having this fan, then you can conserve this fan, and you can keep it in your keep it in use, and if at all the fan is not in a working condition, then you can repair it. It's worth a repair because it has a strong 16 pole motor which will work for years without any issues. So just that you have to maintain the bush. So for precautionary, you can actually just oil the fan once a year, but if at all you are too lazy and you cannot do it, then you just have to check the spin down. For now this fan will be a bit tight because the bearing is also greased by me. The canopy is touching, I guess. So always check, always hand rotate the fan and check that whether the canopy is touching or not. Okay, now it's not. Let me now check it again. So direct to full. So how you saw how it took speed within seconds. You can see the loud humming. So I guess the varnish from the stator is ruptured anyways, but this will work, no worries. The insulation is in a good condition. Sometimes it can also be because of the rotor. It's not every time because of varnish rupturing It can also be because of the regulator, so whatever. So as you can see, the wobble is reduced to minimum, otherwise the fan would be vibrating. This doesn't have a wobble, this just wobbles slightly when the fan is turned off, or if you run the fan on a bit of a slow speed. Otherwise rest of the thing is okay. So overall the quality of the fan is really good, and this is a bit heavier compared to the later versions, as you know, and this is a better one compared to epro or whatever. The blades are okay, these are average, these are middle, because it's a transition kind of model. This has 2000s, this has features both of the 2000s as well as the 90s. The inner side, the motor and all is from taken from the 90s only, because this doesn't have a slit, and the thickness of the motor kept on decreasing in the later years. So 1991 to 1996 had very thick motors, and the blades were plain without any groove with better shank angle, and later on the angle was a bit reduced, and they had given slight grooves, and later on the blade itself was different, and I don't feel like talking about that blade also, because the motor configuration itself was changed. Later it was changed to double ball bearing and 14 pole. Although they gave SKF bearings, those were prone to burning. These also burn, but these are lesser prone to burning because of better quality and everything. So yes, this is a good option if you're still having it. Otherwise, there was another fan in the 90s that was known as Khaitan Baron. I hope you remember that. In the 90s, you had there was Khaitan hybrids also. So those two were double ball bearing, and magnet was a bush. So whatever, if you have these three fans, then you are good to go, because these fans will work for years without any trouble. Once repaired, then also these will work for years after the repair without giving any trouble. So guys, this is it, this is the fan here. And yes, this is my fourth magnet, I think so. Two browns are gone already, and I had one white, I still have that one, and this is the fourth one, the 90s. So this was in my wish list, 90s magnet, so now I anyways have it, so whatever. So guys, this is the fan as you can see here. So guys, that's it for today. Please like, share, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video coming really soon.